Hello, citizens, and welcome back. This is our match reaction to City 0, Liverpool 2 in the Premier League. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe. Let's jump into it. So there's no point in ranting and raving, let's be honest, because we all expected it. I mean, I expected a much worse result. I think 2-0 is a decent result for us. I would have taken that before the game because I was expecting 4 or 5. You know, I knew Liverpool were going to rip through our defence, which they did. I knew they were going to be too fast, too strong, and yeah, they're much fitter than us as well. But otherwise, we did okay, I thought, to be honest, for most of the game. You know, we controlled it nicely. I mean, Liverpool just sat back in a back five. They sat really deep and they played long ball and tried to play 1 or 2 passes through us and counter-attack us. And they did that in the first half quite well. Second half, they did it a couple of times, but not as much. But yeah, it's what you expected, really. And it's just, I don't know, you just watch the game unfold and you just think to yourself, the same problems are here all season, which is every time Liverpool pick up in the middle of the park, there's no one around them because we don't have a midfield. You know, anytime they do counter-attack, every team when they counter-attack, they go with pace and they go very, very direct, you know, because they want to get a shot away as quickly as possible. When we counter-attack, like you saw against Liverpool, we run at them. We have a chance to actually do something or put the ball in the box or get a shot away, but we hold on to the ball for too long or we try and do too much with it, or more frustratingly, we stand on the ball and we pass backward. That's what we do. That's how we play football. We don't counter-attack teams, and if we did, we'd be much more dangerous. And I thought the best player on the pitch was Doku in that game, and I've been one of Doku's biggest critics. I think he could do more for the team, and you know, I think he has his on days and his off days, and I think it always goes on with how well he starts a game. Like Sterling, I've said it before, just like Raheem Sterling, if he starts a game really, really well, he plays well. If he doesn't get past his man with the first attempt, he plays really badly for the game. It's all about confidence for him. And in the opening minutes, he got past Trent once, and after that, he got past Trent every single time. And sometimes he got past him twice before passing the ball. So I thought Doku was brilliant, and it's a shame he didn't get man of the match because, again, he was the only one on the pitch really doing anything for either team for most of it. And again, if you look at Doku, the number of times he got past Trent and the number of times he put the ball in the box, like just drilled it across the ground, if there was any other team that was doing that, if any other team's winger got in that position and crossed the ball, there'd be someone tapping home at least once or twice. But with us, no one's attacking the box because everyone's just waiting for it. So there's no late runners into the box because everyone's already there, just sat there, hoping the ball comes to them rather than moving. So Doku's just got to fire it through about 4 or 5 Liverpool players. But if we counter-attacked quicker and we did things much quicker and there wasn't so much messing about on the ball, the Liverpool defence wouldn't have time to get back in time to clear that every single time, which is what they did. With the fact that every shot that we had went straight at Alisson. You know, I mean, if it was for Edison as well making a couple of saves in the second half, it probably would have been 4-0. Because, you know, I think their first 2 shots on target went in. All our shots on target, like I said, just went straight to Alisson. We were poor. Again, very, very poor. And I thought there's too many flair players on that pitch at times. I mean, you looked at that attacking lineup. You had De Bruyne, Foden, Mamouche, Doku, and Savinho. Savinho and Doku, I thought, played really well. Mamouche isolated up top, and Foden and De Bruyne. You know, there's too many players there that want to do the same thing. They all want to get in the middle, really. They all want to be the hero. They all want to score the goals. And without Haaland, we didn't have a focal point. And people are always going about, oh, Haaland doesn't do much. Haaland doesn't touch the ball. But he's the focal point. He's the one that keeps the centre half busy. He's the one that keeps on making runs to make space for everyone else. Like we saw with Mamouche in Newcastle. It's Haaland's work rate that makes the space for everyone else, that creates it. Because the defence are worried about him. When we've not got Haaland, the defence aren't worried about anyone because they know we're not going to break their lines often. How many runs did we see from Mamouche, from Foden, or from Savinho or Doku when our defence had the ball and not one of them played it over? You know, I counted like 6 or 7 times that Ake had the ball. Someone would make a run through the Liverpool defence because they were high for once. And even though Ake saw them, he just put his foot on the ball and then passed it sideways. You know, I saw him do it twice in about 10 seconds in the second half. And that just sums us up, because if that was Liverpool or anyone else, they just whack the ball over the top because they know our high line ain't going to get back in time. So it's just disappointing the way we play football. It's disappointing the way that Pep has not adapted this season to how the team is playing. He's not adapted. He's not helping them out. We've had so many injuries. You know, we've had so many things go wrong, but he still insists on playing that way of football instead of just changing it up a little bit, trying something different. And it's so frustrating because if we do play the long ball every now and then, like we saw against Newcastle when Edison plays it to Haaland, it can work. We can score goals. Not Haaland, Marmoush. It can work. You know, it does get results for you. You know, there's no shame in kicking it long every now and then or trying and play it, you know, over the top of the defense. Why do we have to play this tiki-taka football that just goes sideways and backwards for 95% of the game? Why can't we attack with something? And then Pep substitutions. I mean, his substitutions have always been terrible, I think. I go back to the Haaland injury as well against Newcastle. You know, when you've won a game 3-0 and you're in injury time or we're getting battered, he always leaves Haaland on for the full 90 minutes, which I don't get. You know, I've never understood that. He's the only striker we've got, and yet he leaves him on for the full 90 minutes, regardless of whether we've just absolutely battered a team or not. And you're always risking an injury when you do that. Why does he not just take him off and rest him? You know, if he's not doing it, if the game's done, take him off. Leave him for the next game, give him some rest. So that's another bizarre thing. And in this game against Liverpool, the substitutions towards the end, I mean, it brings on like, what, 3 defenders or something like that? I mean, what's that going to do? The game's lost. I know we got not got much of a bench. You know, but he doesn't throw Grealish. What's the point of having him on the bench if you're not going to play him? You know, so he brought on Diaz. He brought on Kovacic. Kovacic possibly should have started instead of Gonzalez for me. And he also brought on, who else did he bring on? He brought on someone else, didn't he? Gundogan. And then he brought McAtee on for De Bruyne, and McAtee didn't do anything all game. In fact, the defense didn't do anything all game. I think Diaz was probably the one that was more involved when he came on. So yeah, disappointing result, but it could have been worse, and I expected worse. Looking at the new City players, though, have a few weeks to see them. Kuzanov, I think he's going to be a really good player. He looked really good against Liverpool. I think with a good defence, a good centre-half next to him, he could be a star in the Premier League for the next couple of years. But Ake ain't that man. Ake can't run. Ake needs to go. He's a great defender, but he can't run. And the way we play football, he's just exposed constantly. But Kuzanov, he looks good. I like him. Yes, he had a bit of a nightmare for the first 5 minutes against Chelsea, but he's settled down since. I think he's good. And I think him and Diaz, if Diaz could get back on it, I think that's a good partnership for next season. Got Nico, I think he did all right. You know, again, it's a struggle for him because he's in a really bad team and he is isolated. When Pep plays that many attacking players like he did, you know, with that many wingers and that many number 10s, because everyone there is basically a number 10, almost. He's isolated and he can't really do much. And the way teams play against us when they hit it long, like Liverpool do, and when they don't mess about with the ball, you know, Nico's just completely, like, there's no need for him. It's like when Rodri's there, there's no need for him because he can't get in the game. He can't do anything. He can't impact it. So teams just hit it over him and over our defence because of that high line. So, yeah, tough for him. Mamouche, of course, I think could be a star for us as well, but playing him up top or, you know, without Haaland or without a striker, there's no point. Because he's not really going to do much, is it? Because, like I said, you got Savinho and Doku, who are just trying to do the same things as well. So yeah, other than that, I think it's just the way it is. Other things that you have to see. De Bruyne, time for him to leave. Let's be honest, his time's up. Been the best player in the league for years. Time for him to go. He can't run. He doesn't really offer anything to the team. He doesn't take the set pieces anymore. Foden takes them. Yeah, time for him to go. Lewis can't defend. He doesn't pass forward. He only passes backwards. I don't see the point in him. I said when he first came onto the scene that I'd push him up into midfield almost because in defence he's a little bit wasted because he is a bit better when he's going forward because he has got quick feet, but useless defending. Can't do it. Doesn't really offer anything to the team. At least Walker had pace. Walker couldn't defend, attack, or pass, or cross, but he had pace. Lewis hasn't got that. Vardio, I thought he defended well in this game. To be honest with you, his defense this season has been pretty poor. Going forward has been his best. And there's also a point in the first half where he gets the ball, he runs about 40, 50 yards with it, and instead of just taking a shot like anyone else would or going on his own, he makes a poor pass that lets Liverpool counter-attack. And when Salah gets it, he's not going to do that. I know Vardo isn't a left winger or an attacker or anything like that, but when he gets the ball and he runs 40, 50 yards, just keep going. And that's another difference between us and other teams. If a player's got a chance to shoot, they shoot, whereas we have a chance to take a shot on the edge of the box. And you know the player wants to because they always shape up to shoot, but then they put the foot on it and then pass sideways. It's just a waste. It's a waste. We always waste our possession and we always waste them good chances. You know, shoot on sight. What you got to lose? Absolutely nothing. You're garbage anyway. Just take a shot. So Vario did all right defensively. I think he did well against Salah, to be honest. Salah did nothing all game other than a score from a really... Oh, the defending on that corner is shocking. And another thing about these corners, you know, Rico Lewis man-marking Van Dijk is disgraceful. Let me tell you that sums up this team. The fact that Lewis was on Van Dijk. What is that about? And the fact that in the second half, there's a corner that comes in and Van Dijk chests it down inside our box because Lewis doesn't do anything about it. He just watches him. He chests it down and brings it down and then gets a shot away, I think he does, or tries to get a shot away or passes it. But he chested it down. I mean, that just sums up our season and that sums up our defense. You know, they're garbage. There's no accountability there. There's no responsibility. Gonzalez, like I said, he's completely ineffective when a team just goes long and on the ball. We don't do anything because it's so compact there. There's no movement for him. You know, everyone's just trying to cram inside the box. So there's no one to pass him to. So yeah, what's he gonna do? De Bruyne, absolutely goddamn useless. His passing was bad. Like I said, he can't run up and down the pitch anymore. Gives up on chases because he doesn't track back. Doesn't take the set pieces. Don't see the point in having him in the team. Foden, he takes all our set pieces pretty much. I know Mamouche took the odd corner, but yeah, every shot he had was at the goalkeeper. At least he tries. He keeps going. He does have energy to run for the full 90 minutes. Savinho did okay on the right side. Didn't get enough crosses in. Didn't beat his man enough. And them Liverpool fullbacks, you know, they were there for the taking. You know, there's a point as well in the second half where Savinho stopped tracking back. He did like 2 or 3 times where he wouldn't run back, and that's criminal against a team like Liverpool. Then you've got who else? Mamouche, like I said, pretty much effective. Took his goal well, the one that was offside. It was a good finish from what I could tell. It was on the other side of the pitch to me. I think, like I said, he will be a star, but he needs a good partner up there as well. And Doku, I thought, was man of the match from both teams. I thought he was brilliant, Doku. He got past Trent about 19 times. He tore him apart. And if Doku doesn't start in the next game with knowing Pep, he won't. He'll put Grealish in because that's the way Pep works. It's very bizarre. You know, you'll destroy his confidence because he won't play him for 2 or 3 weeks. I thought he was brilliant. He put in a lot of crosses, but they were all drilled with his left foot. And I think if you change Savinho and Doku around, and I said this before the game started, if you put Doku on the right and Savinho on the left, I think you got a much more natural thing there, and you got better crosses. Yeah, and they can definitely attack the box better as well because they don't need to cut inside to take a shot. That's what I would do. I'd swap them. But otherwise, yeah, disappointing result, but could have been much worse. Expected 4 or 5 because Liverpool did tear us apart every time they went forward, particularly in that first half. And it could have been worse if one of their goals wasn't offside or Edison hadn't made a couple of saves in the second half. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for checking it out. Hit like, hit subscribe. Will City ever win again? That's the question. We got Plymouth on the weekend. Probably not. We got Spurs in a couple of days. We're not beating them. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.